Hello and welcome back to Popcorn Chat. I hope you guys are doing well. This is another review coming out of the London Film Festival, and this time we're going to be talking about Chloe Zhao's Hamnet. In case you didn't know, it's based upon the book by Maggie O'Farrell with the same title, and it loosely follows the life of William Shakespeare and Anne Hathaway, who is called Agnes in this story. We have a star-studded cast including Jessie, Buckley, Paul Mescal, Joe Alwyn, Emily Watson, and Noah and Jacoby Jupe. So in this story, we get to see Agnes and William meet and find that connection and love before they even have success and children. The chemistry between Jessie and Paul is amazing. It feels so authentic. You feel those sort of candid moments that you can just imagine Chloe just play with it. And it feels so organic because of that. Of course, with many of Chloe's films, a lot of people talk about her cinematography and the fact she uses a lot of natural light, and that is the same with this film. There are scenes such as in the forest which are just lit by daylight and it feels organic, beautiful, natural. However, there are moments where I would have liked to have seen a bit more light, especially when William Shakespeare's reciting To Be or Not to Be. That would have been much more effective if I could actually see Paul Mescal's face. This film very much deals with the themes of love, maternity, life and death, Mother Nature itself. There's so many topics at hand in Hamnet. I think Chloe does a great job at balancing those, especially that maternal one. That's a motif that keeps repeating throughout, especially for Jessie Buckley's character in terms of her relationship with her mother, her adopted mother, William's mother, her children. There's this through line throughout, and it's just so excellently portrayed and feels relatable as well at the same time. Despite the time period in which it's set, there are connections with family members by blood or by law that many people will relate to in this. And speaking of Jessie Buckley, we have to give her an Oscar for that performance. There is just something so compelling about her. Yes, it's one of those more shouty performances, that bigger performances that the Oscars might love. But I thought it was amazing. I think it's one of the best things I've seen her do ever. Paul Mescal, on the other hand, does a good job as Shakespeare. I do think his accent is a little bit questionable at times, but I don't think it's necessarily about him. He's much more of a supporting role in this, but because of their connection and relationship, I think they really work well when they're on screen together. And I think their dynamic with the children as well makes for a really warm environment, which is unfortunately followed by tragedy. Jacoby Jupe plays Hamnet, and he absolutely is amazing. He feels like he's beyond his years. The way in which he talks to his sisters, his parents, the way he holds himself, that feels like a grown man inside that body. He does an excellent job at conveying all the emotions, his empathy for his sisters, and the love he has for the theatre. It's all there, and I think if it wasn't for Jacoby, I don't think this would have worked as well. And of course, his brother Noah Jupe appears later in the film, playing Hamlet within the play for Shakespeare, and he himself is excellent in terms of giving that theatrical performance within the film. I think he does such a good job, especially coming away from being a child actor. He really kind of shone for me. And I think it reminded people that he is one to watch, not just as an American child in most films. He is an amazing actor, and everyone kind of sat up in that latter half of the film. As I'm sure you're aware, most people are saying they are absolutely sobbing whilst watching Hamnet, and that is very much true. There are moments which are so emotional, inevitably because of the tragedy that happens to this family. But for me, the performances are what really got me, not in an intense way like some other people, but for me, when Jessie Buckley is there with her son Hamnet, their dynamic and their performances just completely impressed me and shocked me, and all of the words that I can't think of right now. It was so overwhelming. I was like, I'm seeing some amazing performances in this one film alone. However, I don't think it is the perfect film. In my head going into this, I thought this is going to be the best picture. Maybe it will be, but in my opinion, I don't think it fully gelled in the way that I hoped, through some of the cinematography, some of the narrative itself. I felt like Joe Alwyn's character was kind of just appeared for like 30 seconds and went. I thought Emily Watson did a great job, but I think there's maybe underuse of some characters, and the kind of the Stratford element and London, the disconnect. But I did like the story it told, and the fact it was, this is what we want to tell. It has fantastical elements with witchcraft and nature. I liked that. It didn't have to be factual. It didn't have to be a documentary. Films can do that. You can go and watch documentaries if you want to, or read a book. But this film just kind of encapsulated that magic and their love as a family and as a couple. And then also like, oh yeah, by the way, he wrote these really successful plays. So yes, I think it's a great film, and I think it's a great performance, and I think Jessie Buckley will get the Oscar for this. But as a whole, I don't think it's 5 stars for me, but that's just my opinion. That's what I thought of the film. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts if you've seen Hamnet, and do you think it's going to win Best Picture? Thank you so much for watching this review of Hamnet. I'll see you guys very soon for another popcorn chat.